Amaya's heart pounded as she stepped into Lydia's sprawling Manhattan apartment, the door clicking shut behind her like a final verdict. The invitation had come casually after a grueling day at the advertising firm. "Come over for a drink, we can brainstorm that campaign," Lydia had said, her voice steady but her eyes lingering a beat too long. But now, with the city lights twinkling outside the floor-to-ceiling windows, Lydia turned to her, and before Amaya could process the shift, Lydia's lips were on hers, urgent and unyielding, a kiss that ignited every suppressed spark Amaya had buried deep inside. She pulled back, breath ragged, her mind reeling. "Lydia, what? What are you doing?" Amaya stammered, her voice barely above a whisper, but the damage was done. The air between them crackled with unspoken truths. Lydia, her boss of 2 years, the woman Amaya had admired from afar for her sharp intellect and unshakable poise, now stood vulnerable, her blue eyes pleading. "I've wanted this for so long, Amaya. Tell me you haven't felt it too." Amaya's thoughts spiraled inward, a storm of confusion and desire. How could she admit that yes, she'd felt the pull? The way Lydia's presence made her pulse quicken during late-night meetings, the subtle touches that lingered. But this? Crossing that line meant risking everything, her job, her carefully constructed life, the facade she'd built to hide from her conservative family's prying eyes. Back home in Queens, her parents still clung to their traditional values, whispering about cousins who strayed from the right path. If they knew, God, if they knew she was drawn to women, let alone her boss, it would shatter them. And yet, here she was, frozen in place, the taste of Lydia's lipstick still on her lips. Lydia stepped closer, her hand brushing Amaya's arm. "I know it's complicated. I'm your superior and I shouldn't have. But I can't pretend anymore. You're brilliant, Amaya, and not just at work. You see me, really see me beyond the boardroom armor." Her voice cracked slightly, revealing the cracks in her own facade. Lydia, at 35, had built her career on precision and control, rising to creative director through sheer willpower. But her personal life was a wasteland of failed relationships with men who never understood her depth. She'd always known her attractions leaned elsewhere, but societal expectations had kept her in check, until Amaya joined the team, with her infectious energy and quiet strength. Amaya's inner voice screamed warnings. "This is wrong. She's your boss. Power dynamics alone make it unethical. What if it's just a fling for her? You'd be the one left picking up the pieces." But another part whispered temptations. What if it's real? What if this is the connection you've craved, hidden behind safe crushes on college friends? She thought of her last relationship, a bland affair with a guy from church that ended because she felt nothing, absolutely nothing. Lydia made her feel alive, seen. They sat on the plush sofa, glasses of wine untouched on the coffee table. Lydia poured out her story first, her words tumbling like a confession. "My family. They're old money from Connecticut. They expect me to marry some Wall Street type, produce heirs. I've dated men to please them, but it's all been a lie. Meeting you changed that. You're authentic, Amaya. No games." Amaya listened, her resolve weakening. She shared fragments of her own truth. Growing up in a tight-knit Latino community where being gay was whispered about like a curse, her mother's endless setups with nice boys from the neighborhood. As the night wore on, the conversation deepened into raw vulnerability. Lydia admitted her fear of coming out, how it could tank her career in an industry still rife with subtle biases. "I've seen colleagues sidelined for less," she said, her hand finding Amaya's. Amaya nodded, her mind flashing to her father's stern lectures on family honor. But in that moment the pull was stronger than the fear. They didn't kiss again that night, but the promise hung heavy, a decision deferred but inevitable. The next morning, Amaya woke in her own bed, the events replaying like a fever dream. At work, Lydia was professional, but their eyes met across the conference room, a silent acknowledgement. Amaya's productivity plummeted. She stared at her screen, questioning every choice. Was pursuing this worth the risk? Her best friend, Sophia, noticed her distraction over lunch. "What's up with you? You look like you saw a ghost." Amaya deflected, but inside the conflict raged. If she said yes to Lydia, she'd betray her family's expectations. If no, she'd deny her own heart. Days blurred into a tense dance of stolen glances and late-night texts. Lydia suggested a weekend getaway to test the waters, away from prying eyes. Amaya hesitated, her moral compass spinning. This wasn't just about love. It was about power, ethics, society. But the heart wants what it wants, and Amaya's was screaming Lydia's name. By week's end, Amaya agreed, packing a bag with trembling hands. As they drove out of the city toward the Hamptons, the weight of her choice settled in. What have I done? She thought, glancing at Lydia's profile. This could be the start of something beautiful. Or the end of everything she knew. The beach house in the Hamptons stood isolated against the crashing waves, a temporary sanctuary from the chaos of their lives. Amaya and Lydia arrived under the cover of dusk, the air thick with salt and unspoken promises. As they unpacked, Lydia's hand brushed Amaya's, sending a jolt through her body, but Amaya pulled away, her mind a battlefield of doubt and desire. That first night they talked until dawn, peeling back layers of their souls. Lydia confessed her deepest regret. A college romance with a woman named Elena ended abruptly when her parents threatened to cut her off. I chose security over love, she whispered, tears glistening. I've regretted it every day. With you I want to be brave. Amaya's heart ached at the vulnerability. It mirrored her own fears. She thought of her mother, Maria, who had sacrificed everything to bring the family from Mexico to America, expecting Amaya to honor that with a traditional life. If I tell them about us, Amaya said, voice trembling, it'll break their hearts. They'll see it as a betrayal of everything they fought for. The weekend unfolded in tentative steps toward intimacy. Not physical but emotional. Walks on the beach turned into debates about society's chains. Lydia argued passionately, why should we hide who we are? Love isn't a sin. But Amaya countered with the harsh realities. Workplace discrimination, family ostracism. It's easy for you to say you have money status. I have nothing if I lose my job or my family. The words hung between them, a chasm of class and privilege. Back in the city, the affair blossomed in secret, a series of clandestine meetings that heightened the thrill and the terror. Amaya's performance at work suffered. She missed deadlines, her mind elsewhere. Lydia covered for her. But the favoritism didn't go unnoticed. Whispers started in the office. Why is Amaya getting all the prime projects? One colleague, Mark, confronted her in the break room. What's going on with you and the boss? It's obvious. Amaya denied it, but the seed of paranoia took root. Internally, Amaya wrestled with guilt. Is this love or just rebellion? She journaled late at night. Lydia makes me feel whole, but at what cost? My parents raised me to be strong, independent. Yet here I am, sneaking around like a criminal. The moral quandary deepened when Lydia proposed going public. We can handle it together, she said over dinner in a dimly lit restaurant. Amaya shook her head. Not yet. Give me time. Time, however, was not on their side. Amaya's sister, Rosa, visited unexpectedly, sensing something amiss. You're distant, Hermana. Is there a guy? Rosa probed, her eyes sharp. Amaya lied, but the deception gnawed at her. That night she confronted Lydia. This is tearing me apart. The lies, the hiding. It's not sustainable. Lydia's face hardened. Then choose. Us or the facade. The argument escalated. Voices rising in Lydia's apartment. Lydia accused Amaya of cowardice. Amaya shot back about Lydia's privilege, blinding her to real-world consequences. They parted angry, the first crack in their bond. Amaya drove home, tears blurring the road, questioning if love was worth this pain. Weeks passed in a cold war at work. Lydia assigned Amaya to a high-stakes client, perhaps as punishment or test. Amaya excelled, but the success felt hollow. Then came the bombshell. An anonymous email to HR hinting at impropriety between them. Panic set in. Who knew? Mark? Someone else? Amaya's inner turmoil peaked. She imagined the fallout. Fired, disgraced, her family learning the truth from gossip. But denying Lydia felt like self-betrayal. In a moment of clarity, she texted Lydia. We need to talk. For real. They met in Central Park, away from eyes. Lydia looked weary, the strain evident. I can't lose you, she admitted. Amaya took her hand. Then we fight together. But slowly. It was a tentative truce, but the shadows of doubt lingered. As summer faded, so did the initial passion, replaced by gritty reality. Amaya attended a family barbecue, her father's proud gaze on her career making her stomach churn. How could she shatter that? Lydia, meanwhile, faced her own demons, her mother's pointed questions about settling down. The turning point came at a company gala. Dressed elegantly, they navigated the room separately, but their eyes locked across the crowd. In an impulsive moment, Lydia pulled Amaya into a quiet hallway. "I love you," she declared. Amaya's heart soared but fear clamped down. "I love you too, but..." Before she could finish, Mark appeared, his smirk confirming suspicions. The betrayal stung Mark, jealous of Amaya's rise, had been watching. Now the secret was a ticking bomb. The anonymous email exploded like a grenade in the office, HR launching an investigation that turned Amaya's world into a pressure cooker. She sat in the sterile conference room, facing the Inquisitor's neutral gaze, her mind racing through denials and half-truths. "It's just professional," she insisted, but her voice wavered, betraying the lie. Lydia, questioned separately, maintained composure, but Amaya knew the toll it took. The late-night calls where Lydia's confidence cracked, admitting, "This could ruin me." Internally, Amaya flagellated herself. "Why didn't I see this coming? My ambition blinded me. I thought we could hide forever. But love isn't a secret. It's a revolution." The moral dilemma sharpened. Was their relationship unethical from the start? Or was society's judgment the real crime? She thought of trailblazers in the LGBTQ community facing worse, yet here she was cowering. Family pressures mounted. Her mother called daily, pushing a blind date with a respectable man from church. "You're 28, Mija, time to settle." Amaya snapped one evening. "What if I don't want that?" The silence on the line was deafening, a preview of the storm to come. Rosa, ever perceptive, cornered her. "Spill it. You're acting like you're in witness protection." Amaya confessed partially. "There's someone, but it's complicated." Rosa's eyes widened. "A woman." The word hung charged. Lydia's family added fuel. Her father, a prominent lawyer, visited unexpectedly, grilling her on her single status. "You're not getting younger, Lydia. The family name needs continuity." She deflected, but inside rage simmered. Why must love fit their mold? With Amaya she felt authentic, but the cost was mounting. Sleepless nights, paranoia at work. The investigation dragged, rumors swirling. Colleagues distanced themselves from Amaya, treating her like a pariah. Mark's smugness grated. She confronted him in the parking garage. "You did this, didn't you? Jealous prick." He sneered. "Prove it." "But everyone knows the way she looks at you? Disgusting." The slur hit like a punch, igniting Amaya's fury. Was this the society they lived in, progressive New York hiding bigotry? In a bold move, Lydia suggested resigning to clear the air. "I'll step down, we can start fresh." Amaya recoiled. "No. That's you sacrificing everything." "What about equality?" The debate raged, highlighting their differences. Lydia's willingness to burn bridges versus Amaya's caution. It was a moral crossroads. Fight the system or bow to it. Amaya sought solace in therapy, a secret session where she unpacked her identity. "I've always known I was gay," she admitted to the counselor, the words liberating yet terrifying. "But pursuing it means war with my world." The therapist probed. Is hiding worth the self-erasure? The question haunted her. Tensions peaked at a family dinner. Her father announced a promotion at his job, toasting to family values. Amaya's stomach twisted. She excused herself, hyperventilating in the bathroom. "I can't live this lie anymore." But coming out now? With the investigation looming? Lydia faced her own confrontation. At a dinner with her parents, she hinted at her truth. "What if I'm not interested in men?" Her mother's face paled. "Don't be ridiculous. It's a phase." The dismissal cut deep, reinforcing Lydia's resolve. She called Amaya that night. "We can't let them win." United in defiance, they planned their next steps. But betrayal lurked. Rosa, digging deeper, found texts on Amaya's phone. "A woman? Your boss." The accusation flew over coffee. Amaya defended. "It's love, Rosa. Real love." Rosa's shock turned to anger. "You're throwing away everything. Mom and Dad will disown you." The rift widened. Rosa threatened to tell. Amaya pleaded, but the damage was done. Trust fractured. Internally, Amaya questioned. Is love worth losing family? The pain was visceral, a constant ache. At work, HR cleared them temporarily. Lack of evidence, but the stain remained. Lydia was demoted subtly, projects reassigned. Amaya felt the guilt. This is my fault. I should have said no from the start. In a moment of desperation, Amaya suggested a break. Maybe space will help. Lydia's eyes filled with hurt. Is that what you want? To run. The word stung. A preview of potential heartbreak. As autumn leaves fell, so did their illusions. Amaya attended a pride event alone, surrounded by couples unafraid. Envy burned. Why couldn't that be her? Lydia, meanwhile, networked for new jobs, preparing for fallout. The climax brewed when Rosa confronted the parents preemptively. Amaya arrived home to chaos, her mother's tears, father's silence. Is it true? Maria sobbed. Amaya nodded, heartbreaking. Yes. I love her. The explosion was nuclear. Her father raged about disgrace, her mother wailed about sin. Amaya stood firm, but inside she shattered. Was this the price of authenticity? The fallout from the family revelation hit Amaya like a tidal wave, leaving her adrift in a sea of rejection and self-doubt. Her parents' ultimatum echoed. Choose us or that lifestyle. She left that night, crashing at Sophia's, her mind a whirlwind. How could blood ties sever so easily? Love should unite, not divide. But society's script demanded conformity, and she'd torn the pages. Lydia offered solace, her apartment a refuge. We'll build our own family, she said, holding Amaya close. But even there cracks showed. Lydia's demotion fueled resentment. She snapped at minor things, projecting frustration. Amaya absorbed it, questioning her role. Am I the villain here, dragging her down? Work became a minefield. With the investigation closed but suspicions lingering, Amaya faced isolation. Colleagues whispered. Promotions passed her by. Mark's promotion stung most, he'd won by sabotage. In a heated exchange, Amaya accused him openly. You outed us for a leg up. He laughed. Survival of the fittest. Your relationship was a liability. The moral weight pressed. Was their love selfish, endangering careers? Amaya pondered in solitude. I've hurt everyone, Lydia, my family, myself. But suppressing it hurt more. A choice loomed. End it or fight harder. Lydia pushed for commitment. Let's move in together. Show the world we're real. Amaya hesitated, visions of further backlash flashing. What about your family? Mine. Lydia's response was fierce. They don't define us. But Amaya saw the hypocrisy. Lydia hadn't fully come out to hers. The tension culminated in a blowout argument. You're asking me to sacrifice everything while you hedge. Amaya yelled. Lydia retorted. I've already lost status for you. Words flew like daggers, exposing insecurities. They slept apart, the silence deafening. Reconciliation came slowly. Over breakfast, Lydia apologized. I'm scared too. But I choose you. Amaya softened, but doubt lingered. Internally, can love survive this siege? Society's judgment amplified. At a networking event, a client made a snide remark about office romances gone wrong. Amaya bit her tongue, but rage boiled. Why must we justify our existence? Family reconciliation attempts faltered. Rosa mediated a meeting. Her parents attended stiffly. We love you, but this. It's wrong, her father said. Amaya challenged. Wrong by whose standards? I'm happy. Tears flowed. No resolution but a crack in the wall. Lydia faced her parents head-on, inviting them to dinner with Amaya. The evening was tense, polite chit-chat masking disapproval. Lydia's mother probed. Is this permanent? Lydia affirmed. Yes. She's my partner. The word hung. Her father left early, disappointed. The betrayal deepened when Amaya discovered Lydia had confided in an ex, Elena, seeking advice. Jealousy flared. You went to her? After what she meant? Lydia explained. Just as a friend. I needed perspective. But trust eroded, a chink in their armor. Amaya's inner monologue intensified. Am I paranoid, or is this a sign? Love requires vulnerability, but at what point does it become foolishness? As winter approached, they sought couples therapy, unpacking layers. The therapist highlighted power imbalances, societal pressures. Progress was incremental, but healing began. A turning point. Amaya landed a freelance gig, independence beckoning. Maybe I should quit, she told Lydia. Support came, but with undercurrents of fear, separation loomed. Then the ultimate test. Lydia's family cut her off financially, a punitive strike. Choose normalcy or nothing, her father decreed. Lydia stood firm, but the loss devastated her. Amaya comforted. We'll manage. But inside, is my love enough to replace that? Resilience grew. They attended support groups, hearing stories of triumph over adversity. Inspiration struck. Perhaps their pain could fuel change. But damage accumulated. Amaya's health suffered, insomnia, anxiety. She questioned. Was the kiss worth this torment? In a moment of clarity, over a quiet dinner they recommitted. Through hell or high water, Lydia vowed. Amaya echoed, but reservations whispered. The story shifted when Rosa reached out, apologetic. I was wrong to judge. Come home. Tentative bridges formed, but full acceptance eluded. Lydia secured a new job offer, a fresh start. Come with me, she asked. Amaya pondered the leap. Leave family city for love? The decision weighed heavy, a moral quandary. Self-preservation or devotion? As spring hinted, Amaya chose yes, packing for a new chapter. But shadows of doubt trailed. The move to Chicago marked a rebirth, or so they hoped, leaving New York's scars behind for a city of fresh possibilities. Amaya and Lydia settled into a cozy apartment overlooking Lake Michigan, their relationship tested anew by the upheaval. Lydia's new role at a progressive ad agency offered stability, but Amaya freelanced sporadically, her confidence shaken. Internally she battled. Did I run from problems or toward solutions? Love demanded sacrifices, but the ledger felt unbalanced. Family ties strained across distance. Phone calls with her parents were awkward, laced with unspoken resentments. We miss you, Maria said, but the subtext screamed disapproval. Amaya pushed back gently. Accept me fully or not at all. The stalemate persisted, a slow bleed on her heart. Lydia's estrangement from her family deepened. Holidays passed in isolation, amplifying loneliness. They'll come around, she said, but her eyes betrayed doubt. Amaya witnessed Lydia's unraveling. Nights of quiet sobs questioning her choices. Was I too hasty? For us. The words pierced Amaya. Am I worth this grief? Societal echoes followed. In Chicago's vibrant scene they found community, but microaggressions lurked. Stares in public, slurs from passers-by. At a pride parade, euphoria mixed with vigilance. Amaya thought. Progress is illusionary. Hate simmers beneath. Professional hurdles arose. Amaya's portfolio, tainted by rumors, hindered opportunities. A potential client withdrew after researching her background. Fury ignited. Why must personal life dictate worth? Lydia consoled, but her own ascent highlighted disparities. The ultimate betrayal surfaced when Elena reappeared, emailing Lydia about a job. Suspicion flared. Amaya snooped, finding affectionate replies. Confrontation erupted. Are you cheating? Lydia denied. Just networking. Old flames don't reignite. But trust fractured irreparably. Amaya's mind raced. Was this revenge for my hesitations? Love's foundation crumbled under doubt. They argued fiercely, unpacking years of grievances. You've always held back. Lydia accused. Amaya retorted. And you've pushed too hard, ignoring my fears. The fight ended in tears, a temporary ceasefire. But the wound festered. Therapy continued, revealing deep-seated issues. Amaya admitted her internalized homophobia, rooted in upbringing. Lydia confessed privilege blindness. Growth emerged, but slowly. A family crisis pulled Amaya back. Her father's heart attack. She flew to New York alone, facing the bedside vigil. I'm sorry, he whispered, frail. Reconciliation bloomed tentatively. He met Lydia via video, polite if not warm. But the event underscored fragility. Life's too short for grudges. Back in Chicago they recommitted, but realism tempered romance. Love isn't fairy tales, it's endurance, Lydia said. Amaya agreed, but inner voices questioned longevity. Highs and lows cycled. They volunteered at LGBTQ centers, channeling pain into purpose. Amaya's career rebounded with a breakthrough campaign. Lydia mentored young professionals. Triumphs sweetened but shadows lingered. The final twist. Rose's wedding invitation stipulating no +1 if it's her. Amaya declined, hurt anew. Family should be unconditional, she told Lydia. The choice solidified their bond, but at familial cost. As years blurred, their love evolved deeper, scarred, resilient. Amaya reflected. We've paid dearly but gained authenticity. Yet, in quiet moments, doubt crept. Was it all worth it? In the end, after all the heartaches and awakenings, one question remains. Is true love defined by the sacrifices it demands, or by the freedom it grants, right or wrong?